Hello everyone, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you all. May the 4th be with you all. Favorite Star Wars movie? Let's see. Favorite Star Wars movie is probably probably Return. I used to like Empire just so much, but probably Return now. And I also like Episode 3. Episode 3 was phenomenal. Episode 3 was phenomenal. But yeah, Return of the Jedi. That's probably my top. Like I said, I used to say Empire, but I just think it's Return. I mean, like, those two are obviously are it, but probably Return. And like I said, the second favorite is probably Revenge of the Sith. Episode 3 is really good. Hey, what's up? Favorite Star Wars game? Probably Fallen Order or the original Battlefront 2. I really liked, if you remember an old shooter called Dark Forces, I really liked that too. You played a stormtrooper, I think. Well, like one of the elite stormtroopers, I forget what they're called. But yeah, Dark Forces. Good game. I think they re-released it on Steam too. I think I could get it. It's probably on sale today too. So yeah, Fallen Order, the original Battlefront 2, and Dark Forces. Those are probably my favorite Star Wars games. But there's a lot of really good ones. Oh boy, already, huh? The United States of the USA. The United States of duh. I am from the United States of duh. Land of the idiots. Home of the anxiety riddle. Home of the afraid. Oh boy. No, I'm just kidding. It's not everybody. It's just the media. It's a lot of people, though. But it's not everybody. May the 4th be with you all. All right. We got a little clear my throat a little bit. We got a little story. Now this is a true story. Damn, I'm gonna take a drink here. I'm gonna drink my cream soda. My cream soda. So let's have a little we're gonna have a little story time. A little story time. This is a true story. This is a true story. I'll leave out specific details, so that way, like, if you want to look it up and do your part, you do that. But I'm not gonna mention names or anything like that. I'm just gonna tell the story. So, apparently, and this was only probably about 2 years ago. A gentleman was arrested, and well, after being arrested, this gentleman was taken into custody and was being transferred, and he was the only person that they had, so I'm actually confused as to why they didn't use a police car to transfer him, but this person was transferred in one of those, like, you know, those vans, you know, like the prison vans with the cage, and it's like really tight and stuff like that. Basically, it's like enough room to stand and sit down, and you don't even have enough room to stand, really. So anyway, they took him in that. He was the only one they took, and you know, first, you know, it seems good, seems great, but then I guess, I don't know if they had seatbelts. It looked to me like they had seatbelts, but didn't necessarily use them. Anyway, the guy was the guy handcuffed was sitting in the back of the van, and I guess the driver, the police officer that was driving, had to slam on the brakes for something, and this person handcuffed then proceeded to go head first, full force, into the metal siding of the inside of this van and laying on his face. And if your arms are behind you, where like you can't stop the force even a little bit or something, you're going to feel the full brunt of that and the speed you're moving. This officer was going 11 miles an hour apparently over the speed limit when this happened. And so maybe had he not been doing that, he could have braked normally. After that, they take him to the station. He basically, what happens is there's like an interaction where like he's trying to yell for help, but the officer was too busy slamming his brakes on. He didn't see what actually happened. So he probably thinks it's a ruse to get him to open the thing. He eventually does, but he doesn't call an ambulance there, noticing that the guy can't really move and stuff like that. I guess he thinks it's a trick, maybe. So I actually understand that part a little bit, but you know, going obviously over the speed limit, you know, that's totally different. And then after he's back at the station, basically, you know, he does call an ambulance. He does get on the radio, call an ambulance and stuff like that, apparently. But no ambulance seems to arrive, and he gets there, and there's like all these other police there that are, you know, telling him he needs to get out and stuff, and he keeps saying he can't. He's spaced out and he can't move and stuff like that. He very obviously can't. And so they drag him out. They drag him out of there, even though he very obviously went head first into the side of the thing because he wasn't seat belted in. Like, they didn't use any deductive reasoning in that moment. They basically just, all of those officers looked at him like a piece of meat, in my opinion, dragged him out of there, and did not offer any type of protection, didn't care the fact that he was not moving. They inspected him. Yeah, he clearly couldn't move, so they dragged him out, got a wheelchair. Once they put him in this wheelchair, he couldn't even sit upright. His head was all hanging down, his arm was cocked to the side. He very clearly had a serious neck injury, and he wasn't all there. He wasn't like, he was very obviously in severe pain. And so maybe he wasn't screaming, but, you know, like, this is a guy, maybe he grew up in, you know, in the rough parts or something like that, and he's used to dealing with tough things or something like that, so he's not gonna be screaming or something like that. But yeah, he very clearly was in pain, dealing with issues, and he kept trying to communicate to them that he had a neck injury, and absolutely not a single one of them was responsive to this. All they said was, well, we'll just get you an ambulance and we're gonna put you in the holding cell. He was falling out of his wheelchair. He was literally falling out of his wheelchair. So this is now, eventually he ended up at the hospital apparently an hour after they were originally called, and he now has permanent damage. Yeah, he is now paralyzed. And this is the biggest lawsuit in police history. I think in the U.S. history. I don't know about world, probably in general. But yeah. So this is a true story, and this is an example of gross misconduct of half a police station, and probably the rest of it too would have done the same thing. Like, when you see that much gross misconduct and disregard for a person's well-being and stuff like that, this is where you start rationalizing that they don't care about people anymore. They go to work, they don't want to deal with it, they look at people not like people and harm or anything like that, and they just treat them that way. They left him face down on the freaking concrete floor in his cell after that. And yeah, like, are you kidding me? And then we've seen like we've seen lots of suppression from YouTube when I talk about this stuff. And then you start seeing the other people that have channels that talk about this stuff and rationalizing, oh, I see, they also get it too, until they get sponsored third party. YouTube gives them problems too. So, like, this is just the issue. Wow, the rain is really coming down now. And again, I want to remind you guys, I'm not saying it's all first responders or all of this or that. It's not. It's just people, like, but again, that's a lot in one place. So, you know, I mean, obviously it's not going to be everybody, but the idea is that it's being seen a lot more. And worse. And getting worse. You know, there shouldn't have been another largest case in history. You know, like that shouldn't have happened. Like, that's the point. Like, it shouldn't, this guy shouldn't have been treated that way. And like really. And again, for the life of me, why on earth wasn't he in the back of a police car? What the hell? One dude. You know, like, not like we're picking a bunch of people up. So it makes sense to split the resources and haul them in a van. Yeah, sure. I get that. But you're picking one guy up. You put him in the back of a van unbelted with no other guys in there. If he would have gone head first with other people in there, their bodies would have slowed him down. Yeah, like, this is the point. Their bodies would have slowed him down. Like, this is the point. You don't really use those things for one guy. Like, none of that even made any sense to me. I'm like, wait, why is he even... What is that thing? That's a scene. That's like, we're going to cause a scene in your hometown while we arrest you. I mean, and then meanwhile, they paralyzed him in the process. Like, this is just awful. So, you know, while there's plenty of good ones, I'm not saying there's not, you also see this nonsense. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like I just feel like it's people going through the motions too much, you know, expecting certain outcomes, and instead of going through their checks and balances like they should. You know, just like that guy, you know, they should have never moved him. You know, all right, so just so you know, the big main takeaway from that is that somebody with a neck injury that's face down like that, you deduce that they hit their head, his hands were handcuffed behind him, there's no way he'd be laying like that with his head wedged against the wall unless the truck did that to him. He can't move. Don't move him. He might have a neck injury. That is basic. These are basic things. They are actually taught. They are taught these things. They know these things. And the point is, if they hadn't drugged him out of there, yeah, the point is, if they hadn't literally just dragged, then maybe his neck, his injury wouldn't have been so severe, because medical professional would have stabilized his head properly when they moved him, and they wouldn't have dragged. So this is the point, is like, I just see a dehumanizing factor where a lot of them treat people that are being arrested or even ones that just get pulled over for traffic stops, like trying to incriminate and stuff. Like, this is what I see entirely too much. And, you know, we absolutely get interference from YouTube. You know, like when I talk about this stuff, you see it's a capped concurrent. Like, literally they're allowing one concurrent in here and it just sits at 0. I mean, they just lie about the view. Just like last night when we proved that. Last night. Just like that. That's all they're doing. Because we know that there's people in here. And we know that we see these viewers come in here as I start talking about this and stuff. We see it. And then we see the stalker come in with his view bots. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. The sheer amount of toxicity and just ridiculousness that goes, like, you know, like you want to talk about something serious that matters, and people just, it's really messed up that almost nobody can take any matter seriously anymore, or at least, you know, take it seriously enough to not, you know, troll for the, you know, it's just ridiculous. Building a tree fort, what's up? Building that tree fort. I know. We have a lot of interference now. You remember that issue I was telling you about with AT&T? Well, it's happening very aggressively right now as I talk about all this. Extremely aggressively. And we are documenting. But yeah, it's happening extremely aggressively right now. Where, you know, they're disrupting the cell service pretty regularly. And police have tools to do that, but they're not supposed to regularly just do it to people. That's what's been happening. And it's been very aggressive. Oh, also, do you guys remember that day that I was giving you updates and I kept saying update on the situation, update on the situation, update on the situation? And I even told you guys that the Pennsylvania State Police are passing a very vague no-hands law where it tries to say that you can't have a screen or something like that. No, they can't do that. They can't prevent you from having a GPS. They can't do that. You can have a GPS screen in front of you. If they want to try to do that with the law, they're literally gonna can't do it. And so, like, this is just police passing a vague law where they're trying to take people's liberties away, but really they can't do that. So, like, there's certain things that they can get away with because Pennsylvania is a commonwealth, but there's also liberties and constitutional rights that you're allowed and allotted to as well. And, you know, you know, if we're talking like you have GPS already in your car or something like that. Yeah, it's the sort of thing where I'm going to start making a paper trail for the amount of police that have tried to destroy property and stuff like that, based on vague laws and stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, like, it's absolutely absurd. And so, you know, you have to rationalize, like, yeah, I agree with it, but it's a completely vague law that really doesn't have very much resounding, you know, probable cause to it. So what? You know, they see you with a device that has a screen on it. You can just get pulled over, basically. But that's so vague. That's so vague. And how does that constitute probable cause? They just want an excuse to pull people over and smell their car, because they assume everybody's driving around high. That's why. This is why they're doing this. And I'm just letting anybody know that this is what the police in this fucking state do. Like, they're just, like, seriously, a lot of them are just as bad in this state. They really are. There's some that aren't, but really, truthfully, so that day that I was giving you guys updates on the situation, I had 2 different cops tailgating me. I had 2 different cops tailgating me, and I was about to get the device out and record when he turned. Yep, I was gonna fucking record that piece of shit tailgating me. Unmarked car, too. Yeah, 2 different ones. That day that I was talking about that, where I said that people tailgate and swerve around all over the place, and it's police doing it, 2 different unmarked cars did it. And then, the 3rd time I drove to the AT&T store, an unmarked police car followed me into the parking lot, proceeded to sit there the entire time I was in the store, and when I came out, he was still sitting there. He never left his cruiser. He just parked and sat there and had absolutely no business being there whatsoever. Absolutely zero. And if this presents a worry to the public that they're randomly being followed around by unmarked police cars and to be incriminated and followed and invade, this is incredibly unconstitutional. And this state has a problem, which it does. Yeah, I don't have any problems with Fetterman. I like Fetterman. It's that McCormick guy. I looked it up. I did some research. It's that fucking McCormick. Fuck that guy. I like Fetterman though. He's cool. Fetterman's cool. Dude, fuck. Screw fucking. Fuck that guy. Massive interference. And so, you know, like, this is the point, is when we're having massive interference with the cell service, and daily I'm telling them exactly who's doing it. It's the stalker that's been doing it to all of my devices and telling me that he's doing it, impersonating people and police. And YouTube's violating 4 to 5 federal laws daily by not removing him and having him dox me every day on his fucking site. Yeah, it looks like police are doing this. Yes. Yep. That's what it looks like. So, you know, we'll just keep reaching out to certain content creators, maybe certain ones that cover stories like this, and unfair and abuse of police power and stuff like that. Maybe we'll just submit a certain story that happened recently to a certain someone that was completely illegal and based on absolutely zero evidence. And now this has ruined this person's life, ruined the lives of everyone around this person, and cost a shitload of money in the process. Maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe we'll just oh yeah, and maybe we'll go ahead and take out a couple of lawsuits against the local media too. Maybe that's what we'll do. Because we all know we need to keep them in check. The no screen is more to stop texting and driving, though, right? That's what you would think, and that's what they're going to use to try to peddle this propaganda. But you won't see it. You'll see abuse of power. You'll see the good ones doing that, but there's a lot less of that these days. That's what I'm getting at. The good ones, yes. That's exactly what they'll look at it as, which they should. The rest, no. They'll abuse the fuck out of that. Just like I just gave you an example of not even 2 years ago when this exact instance happened, and all of those police did very wrong things and caused permanent damage to this guy. If you guys want to just, like, all you have to do is go on the channel, Audit the Audit. I think it was probably his most recent video that he posted. All you got to do is go on there and just watch it. That's it. I mean, it's not even, it's pretty easy to look up that information. So in my opinion, if the local and state police aren't doing these things where they're constantly educating themselves about how bad it's getting and about people harming these other people and stuff, and then watching this, here's what I think. I think they need to have, like, seminars where there's, like, accountability, where they sit and they watch these things, like Audit the Audit and stuff like that, and even that one specifically. Because I think if anybody doesn't condemn what happened and try to objectively correct it and move forward, those people should immediately be removed from duty. I think that. I think that you need to notice a behavioral issue. This is behavior. This is elementary. This is, you know, beat the chest stuff, like we've talked about before. And yeah, like I said, yes, I agree that that's probably what it's for, but it's not what they'll use it for. Oh, man. Yeah. It doesn't go unnoticed that 3 different unmarked police cars followed me as I began to reveal and discuss that I think that police are doing this, and that I probably have proof. It didn't go unnoticed. And this is the point. If they aren't guilty of anything, if they aren't doing anything, why the fuck are they following me around? Why the fuck did 3 different police in 3 different cars pull up behind me, tailgate me, flat out? One of them was actually swerving. And he saw me visibly yelling, he saw me visibly swearing at him in my mirror, because I don't give a fuck. I was hoping he was going to pull me over for that. I was hoping he was. I was like, you motherfucker, I hope you pull me the fuck over right now. You back the fuck off right now, you stupid son of a bitch. I'm driving the fucking speed limit, and here you are fucking raging like a goddamn lunatic in your fucking cruiser with your fucking gun and your badge. Big fucking man. And yeah, like he was literally just on my ass, swerving back and forth. White police car with the searchlight. I could see his fucking badge. He was so fucking close. And as soon as he saw me put the phone up, as soon as he saw me take the camera out, he turns on. Fucking douchebag. Go fuck yourself. And then again, 2 other ones. Another one did the same thing, except he wasn't like that. He just sort of tailgated a little bit and then turned off. But he was tailgating. You do not have to tailgate somebody to know how fucking fast they're going, you fucking morons. Oh, that's right. You want somebody to drive faster and momentarily think that somebody's pressuring them to drive faster. You want to trigger them. That's right. You're police, and this is what you do all day. So you drive up behind people, and this is why police do it off duty. And I know that they do it off duty, and this is why. Because they recognize the fucking behavior and how elementary it is. All they do is all day long, they drive up behind people and fucking tailgate them. And then the person just sees a car on their ass, and instead of doing something, instead of just continuing to drive the same speed, they feel pressured to drive faster. So instead of recognizing it's a cop because it's an unmarked car, like all 3 examples were, they speed up. And then because they sped, they pull them over. So because what the cop did intimidated this person, they sped up, thus they pulled over. It kind of reminds me of all the times that police say that somebody resisted or ran, and then ask them why they did that. But it really doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if a whole bunch of big guys with guns are screaming at you, "Get down! Get down!" like at the top of their fucking lungs, like a bunch of fucking jackasses that can't control their anger, then yeah, of course you'd be scared. Of course you would act irrationally. Of course you would fucking resist arrest or run. Of fucking course. And so every single one of those, where every fucking cop is like screaming at the goddamn top of his lungs when he's standing fucking 5 feet away, is an example of a guy that can't fucking control his rage. He literally wants to shoot the guy. He probably wants to fucking... You know, and then some of the good ones will rationalize that they're yelling because they don't want to shoot him. You know, they want him to listen to the orders. He's not listening. So then you escalate, and then you start yelling. But, like, I will never... I just... The amount of times that I see that where they start the interaction, and this person probably has PTSD. This person probably grew up with, like, some fucking angry asshole or something like that, screaming at the top of their lungs all the time. So meanwhile, you're in the hood and you're arresting somebody that's probably like that and has those issues, and you fucking, the very start of this interaction, you scream at this person. What the fuck do you think they're gonna do, you fucking morons? Jesus Christ. Why does somebody need to tell you these things? This is what's unfortunate. The fact that you day in and day out give so little respect to what you do, and I sit here and think about this stuff. I care enough to think. That's what's so frustrating. So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying, like I said, again, I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm just saying, you know, that's what's unfortunate about it is and frustrating about it is I see that daily. I can think of the stuff that I can make myself, you know, realize that these are problems and fix them and stuff like that, and try to do better and shit like that. But meanwhile, day in and day out, these guys go in, ruin lives, kill people, and they don't give a thought to it. They probably just get done their shift, come home irritated, go to the bar, something like that. You know, like this is the point. Like, I get that not all of them are like that. I get that. I get that some of them treat it with respect and responsibility like a first responder should. I get that. But there's a huge number of them that aren't. And you see that in that video where you had the example of like 5-6 different cops. Just, wow. Just dragging somebody out of there that's injured, that has a neck injury, that they can't do anything. It's not like he can even move or fight back. You see that he can't, and you're dragging him out of there. What's the danger? What's the risk? What are you doing? You got 5 cops guarding the thing. Wait for the goddamn ambulance. What the hell else are all those fucking people gonna do in the meantime? Stand around and talk to each other? Probably. Fuck, man. You know what I would have done? If I was the officer driving the van, you know what I would have done? I would have immediately realized my mistake. I would have opened the back of the van. I would have said, "Are you okay? Are you injured?" And if he responds with yes, I would have said, "Okay, let me call you an ambulance. Don't try to move." Then I would have waited there for the ambulance to come. And then I would have driven to the hospital with the ambulance. And then I would have waited there with them. Because then he has a chance of recovery. Because then you're doing the right thing. You're not continuing to drive a bumpy-ass fucking van with this guy that's possibly injured, laying on the fucking floor, back to a precinct for the ambulance to come when the hell ever. No. You injured him. He's your responsibility. You drive him to the fucking hospital. That's what I would have done. Or I would have waited for the ambulance right then and there. I wouldn't have driven to the precinct. What? Or you radio in, or like there's so many other options here. I'm actually coming up with different new ones. He could radio in that he's driving. He said, "Oh well, I had to stop short for somebody, and the guy in the back, I think he's injured now, so I'm going to drive him to the emergency room if a car wants to meet me there." so that way you can help me with him and stuff like that. So added security in case he's worried about him making something up, he can just have a car meet him there instead of, again, driving him to the fucking police station. Oh my god. And, like, the point is, at the beginning of the interaction, you see him walk up as if he's like a young man. Yeah, he looks fit, he's like walking up all energetic and shit. And, like, they got all these cops there acting like they're worried he's gonna run. So, like, that's the point. Like, they just treated him a certain way. It's just so obvious. It's just so obvious. He was profiled from the beginning. They expected him to run. He didn't run. He was fully cooperative. Like, just, like, literally, they just profiled him from the beginning. Oh, it's all fake. He's obviously not injured. And then the lady at the police station. Oh, get this. The lady at the police station kept antagonizing him. The lady at the police station kept antagonizing him. She kept saying, yeah, how much have you had to drink? She kept saying that. She kept actually offering that he had stuff to drink, even though there was no evidence of that. Like I said, he walked up all energetic. I think he was sipping on a soda or something like that. Like, people are really fucked up, man. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a person. The point is, it's very obvious. Every single one of those officers looked at him as a criminal. Treated him as a criminal. They labeled him as such, profiled him as such, didn't give him protection. From the very beginning. That's what he is. That's what he is to them. And this is what some police do. And this is why some refer to them as a certain name, which I'm not going to do. I don't agree with it. But if you create this stereotype and you don't fix what's wrong, what do you expect when you don't treat them with respect? They're just people that did wrong shit. They did something wrong and now you're so good? Well, no, technically what the officer did is assault. Technically speaking. And probably the first degree, because he's literally paralyzed completely. And he's supposed to be in his protective custody. Okay, so like it reminds me of the cop that because he heard an acorn fall, he dove and rolled on the ground yelling shots fired and proceeded to fire an entire clip at his own cruiser with somebody handcuffed in the back. It reminds me of that. And how, again, some people just can't handle it. It's the point is, when the cop shows up and starts yelling immediately, unless there's an initial reason for escalation, I understand the guy that you just chased down 90 miles an hour and pitted and is now running. That I get. I get it. Like escalation, I understand. That makes fucking sense. I'm talking about the assholes that walk up to a car that did pull over, that like it's just sitting there, and they like run up to the, get the fuck out of the car, get out of the car now, and the guy's like, okay, you know, like he's got his hands up, like confused why they're like screaming at him, sort of stuff, you know. This is the stuff I'm talking about. The instance where the guy answered his apartment door with a gun because he didn't know who was there. And that's not when they shot him. They shot him when he was disarmed on his knees in the floor in the hallway and then proceeded to unload automatic rifle clips into the guy. That's when they shot him. When he was controlled and should have been arrested. Because again, the police are fucking scared shitless. They're scared little fucking dykes, is what they are. This is the point. A lot of them are scared little fucking pricks. That they're afraid. What the fuck? This guy is on his knees, hands behind his back, on his face now, and you gotta play some sadistic game of fucking Simon Says, do this, do that. The guy doesn't have anything. Arrest him. You got 5 other guys with automatic rifles on him. He's on his knees, his hands are behind his head. The fuck is wrong with you? You're a cop. Do your job now, you stupid fucking piece of shit. And instead, the stupid fucking piece of shit shoots him. Oh, he was reaching. He was laying on the floor confused about your 89 million different commands that you were giving. Yep, that's what I see. And I see stuff like that too much, unfortunately. And so, like I said, like, it's not all of them. Of course it's not. It's just people. And just like with anybody, any person, some people got some fucking problems. And those guys should not have a badge. Half of them should be fired immediately. You know, if you sit around in your cruiser watching somebody's streams because you got nothing better to do, and then you start following that fucking person around because you got nothing better to do, you're a psychopath. Yeah, you're a goddamn psychopath. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're talking about here. You know, like where we've just noticed a pretty regular thing. And if anything, I'm the one daily having those problems where I'm just minding my own business, driving down the road, and somebody just comes flying up behind me. And they expect me to start driving faster because they see how fast they're driving. You know, this is pretty daily, and again, we're having constant interference as I talk about all this. You know, it gets very aggressive, malicious, and stupid. And instead of investigating this, why I'm paying for a service, yet somebody sits here and constantly disrupts it depending on what I say on this platform. Instead of investigating that, which is a violation of my free speech and rights on this platform, and you know, basically in violation of, you know, stealing money from me. Basically, that's what it is. It's like stealing money from me because we pay for this fucking shit. And so, like, it's just a constant service that's not working or being stolen or disrupted. And so, instead of looking into that, what they're doing is they're just looking for a way. Instead of trying to figure out what's going on, what's happening, what's wrong, they just look for a way to be invasive. what they're doing, it's like this guy here, this piece of shit in here. Like, it's basically like when, you know, you can just tell that there's some, you know, like, fucking scammer hanging out because a stalker put too much of my data on this platform, and YouTube is in violation of, like, all these federal laws, not removing the person. And so all these sort of scammers show up and stuff like that to cause problems too, because this person has an entire account dedicated to data mining my family and stalking my family and giving their information to any scammer that wants it. So again, instead of police doing anything about that, they're too busy out there swerving around behind people and tailgating and following people to the AT&T store. Little unsanctioned follow there, huh? Little unsanctioned follow. Let me also note that he was speeding. Yeah. Yep. Let me note that he was speeding. Cops do this all day long. They speed just all day long. Now, granted, if he's actually pursuing somebody, alright, fine, and actually doing something where he's monitoring somebody's speed, fine. But I'm just talking about when they're just sort of driving around patrolling. I see it happening. I see it all the time. If an officer is in pursuit or on his way to a call and he's going a high speed, he really should have his lights on so he's visible, because that's dangerous. And there's been times where some have flown past me without that. You know, like, it's just things like that that you just see time and time again, where it's just negligence, and just like simple things they're not doing, and you start rationalizing, well, there's probably a reason for that. It's probably you know, like, while it's not a, I don't say that that's a good thing. I say that was a bad thing. Like, the reason being, like, something bad, like, you know, like, try to cover up that they're, you know, pursuing somebody and following somebody they shouldn't be, or something like that. You know, that, because that's the point. If they don't have their lights on, you know, like, obviously another cop might question it, but, you know, obviously a citizen isn't, you know, usually going to. And that's the point, is, like, I am starting to question these things, and so they try to use everything they can to you know, suppress that, because the point is you're showing what they're doing, you know, at least some of them. But then again, you know, the point is not all of them are like that. But, you know, you see that example, that very recent example, where just so many in the same station were just so nasty to this man, and it's just terrible. So that's what I think is going to happen with this new hands-free law too, and stuff like that. It's just going to be, oh man, it's just going to be nonsense. I think it's going to be nonsense. I think it's going to be, if they see a phone, they're going to try it. And I think there's going to be some bad ones. Maybe Audit the Audit needs to pay attention to that one. So we're talking about the new law. It's called Miller's Law, and they're signing a new hands-free law. It's very vague in Pennsylvania, and it goes into effect, I think, June 5th. And it's very vague, and some are reporting that this law supposedly Now, this isn't necessarily, I read the law. I read it. It's very vague. It's so broad. And what that means is that reasonable, probable cause is a bit stretched. It shouldn't be. There should be a clear measure of how to use that law to pull somebody over. It should be clear, because that protects the officer too. It protects the good guys, because the good officers, they genuinely want to know. They don't want to fuck around with that. They genuinely are there to do that job correctly, and they care about those things. And they probably don't like how vague it is at times, and may not even care about it. So I'm just letting you know about that too, where, you know, like, it is very vague. Now realize, if somebody sees you looking down at your phone, they're going to pull you over. This is what, in my opinion, this is what it's for. In my opinion, it should be for the people that, when they're driving at night and they see no light in the cabin, yet they see somebody's face looking down, and their face is illuminated by clearly a phone, and they're very clearly texting while they're driving. I have seen this countless times while driving at night, where somebody is driving down the road and they're texting while looking straight down at their lap. And you can clearly see it because their face is illuminated. That is what I think the good ones will use it for, and I think you should, because that's a perfect example of a time where you can clearly see somebody is texting while driving. I highly doubt they're looking down at a flashlight, staring at a flashlight while they're driving, and even so, that's a distraction. It would completely disorient you. So yeah, and aside from that, you can use that too, where at nighttime the light from the phone can disorient you for a second as you look up. So it's absolutely dangerous, and I hope that's when they mainly try to use that. During the day, it's much harder to tell. One thing I would love for cops to do more often is, I can always tell when somebody's texting and driving. And I don't need to look at what they're doing. All I gotta do is be behind them. And I will see them ever so slightly drift, and then suddenly jerk and make a correction. People don't normally do that. They'll drift around and stuff as they pay attention, but they'll make those corrections because they're paying attention. If you suddenly jerk the wheel, and you did this several times through the course of X amount of time, where I can document that you drifted off and then jerked the wheel suddenly, and then you went back to normal and then drifted off and then jerked the wheel suddenly again, where I can show repetitive times and document multiple times where it wasn't a normal correction, it was like you were distracted momentarily. Yeah, that's texting while driving, and I can absolutely say that you have a risk. I'm worried about you veering over into oncoming traffic doing that, where I see you drift and then jerk and recorrect. Now all I need is for you to accidentally do it too far and you hit a car oncoming. So yeah, it's absolutely reason to pull you over. And so this is what I think they should do a little bit more of, is catching the people that very obviously are face deep in their phones on their laps and being stupid about it. Yeah, I mean, like, you can literally use voice commands while you're driving. How hard is that? As other people already have shown that they're embraced and been doing for a while. Oh shit, I actually forgot I was just making it. We're gonna check on that.
Sorry, I just wanted to get an oven changed. So something else I've been aware of that's been kind of going on for a while too is this thing that I've talked about before, but now there's more proof. And what's going on is, let me show you. What's going on is basically the K9 unit is being used to scam people, and what they'll do is they'll actually tell the dog won't smell anything, the dog won't smell anything, and they'll actually tell the dog to give a signal. They'll actually they'll tap the door or something like that. And that's a scam. They're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to let the dog do it. What the who is this person? That's a weird thing to say. Anyway, again, sounds like some video game fucking lore. Sounds like some fucking PoE shit or something. Anyway, this is the scam that's kind of been going on for a while. And, you know, they sort of do this. They sort of just signal the dog instead of letting the dog do what it's supposed to do. If you know what I'm saying. And that's not good. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. You gotta let the dog do it. The dog's supposed to signal if it smells something, not you. Otherwise, that's a scam, man. And so I was just watching this one where this guy was caught, you know, basically signaling the dog, tapping the door and stuff. So it's like, are you kidding me? Like, you're not even justifying letting the dog actually do it. You're just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're literally just doing it yourself. So that's a scam, man. Like, you can't, the dog has to indicate it smells something. If they're tapping doors and stuff like that, they're giving a signal. That's a signal to the dog. It's not how it works. This is pretty basic stuff, man. Yeah, they're supposed to use the leash to walk the dog around the car. If the dog smells something, he will indicate it. Sometimes he'll get up on the door, he'll look in a little bit. But he will, trust me, he will indicate it. And you do not see, if you see an officer take the dog back over the car and start tapping on things like this, that's him trying to get that's literally a scam. It's a real life scam. And this has been going on for fucking decades, man. I think this has been going on ever since they started the K9 shit. Just saying. So, you're going to try to rationalize actually tapping a door when the dog is supposed to signal. How does that make any sense, man? cold soda. Ice yet. Gotta wash it. Gotta wash my cup. I like this cup. I need this cup. We're just drinking it warm. No ice right now. Damn it. Cup. Right over into my sponge. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Sponge for the sponge. Always rinse out sponges. Otherwise, it's a dirty sponge. Yep, warm. No ice right now, unfortunately. But I need a drink. Trust me, that'll be gone. Ice, please. Not even close. This one that has a thick crust takes a little bit longer. It's not a thin one. It's not a thinner crust. Which I do usually prefer. I do usually prefer a thinner crust. I know you guys see me eat the Pizza Hut pizza on a thick crust sometimes. I actually do prefer a crispy, thin crust pizza usually. But if done right, sure, course, I like a thick crust, but it's gotta be just right, man. Just Pizza Hut, that pan pizza, man. It's nothing like it. It really isn't. Domino's is shit. I've been saying it for years. I can't believe it took people this long to realize it. Domino's is an undercooked pile of garbage. It's raw. They don't even understand to cook it longer if they pile toppings on it, not understanding that it's like frozen and half cooked in the middle and shit. Like, seriously, the past like 5-6 times I got Domino's, it was undercooked. I couldn't even eat it. It was like raw dough. It was falling apart. Fucking disgusting, sloppy ass mess. And everyone's like, Domino's, duh! This is disgusting. Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut's the best, man. You will never have fucking raw dough at Pizza Hut. Never in my life have I eaten a pizza at Pizza Hut that had fucking raw dough in it. And by the way, that's a health risk. Yeah, you get food poisoning from that. So, five of the past 5-6 times, and by the way, I didn't even get it because I wanted to. It's because somebody else wanted Domino's at the time. And it was the sort of thing where it was like, okay, Domino's it is. It's disgusting. Anyway, pizzeria style is the best if it's done right. It has to be done right though. And a lot of places they don't do it right. It's a floppy mess. It's a floppy mess. Most places, not all, most. There's a few local places run by Italian guys around here. We actually got some famous pizza places around here. And you guys eat, actually, when you see me eat pizza, sometimes it actually is that famous pizza. That's why it looks so good. Believe it or not, some of those Sicilians and Italians that are famous pizza makers are actually, they have shops around here. Specifically in this area, actually. And there's a few of them, actually. And you guys have seen me eat it before. I didn't like call them out or anything, because I don't want them to think that I'm talking bad about them or anything. I just want to eat their pizza and promote the pizza place. Because I personally don't, in my opinion, it's still 5 out of 5, because it's still better than most pizza that I'm eating. I just might make criticisms here and there just because I understand. I really have had the best pizza, man. I really have. I know it's hard to say that, but really I have. I have had the best pizza. I know. I know it's hard to say that, but I really have. There's this place that I used to go to called Vinny's, and it was amazing, and they had the best pizza. But also there's this place that I used to go to out of state, and I really very rarely go there because it was way up north. But they really had a brick oven. He really had a brick oven, and he made the best pizza I've ever. It's oh my god, it brings tears to my eyes. Like I eat it. It's crispy and delicious, and oh my god. So the crispier you can get that when that crust has a nice crispiness to it instead of a rubberiness when you bite into it. Oh, it's the satisfaction it gives you, you know? It really is like this crunchy, fresh satisfaction of good pizza. And if it's rubbery, you know, all the toppings probably fall off it. This one takes seriously longer than any other pizza I make. It really does. It rises a lot. Even when I make DiGiorno, it doesn't take this long. DiGiorno will cook in. I'm actually really amazed at this thing. Like it'll 6-7 minutes. Yeah, you really have to pay attention to those small ones. Like seriously, I've almost burned a pizza in 12 minutes. I mean, it's because it was one of those little Tony ones. And a bit brown, and you're supposed to cook them. They cook in 10-12 minutes. Is what it says. And 12 minutes in, it was like really. It's correct temperature and everything. Center rack, as it's supposed to be. and you know, it just was that. So I had to reduce the temperature and just learn that yeah, it cooks Tony's pizzas in 6-7 minutes instead of 10-12. Oh, my bad. Before I cut it. Ooh. For frozen pizzas, I cut them slice by slice because they're so lumpy and uneven. Pizzeria style pizza, you just go right through the center, just the whole thing. Just boom, 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 you know. But yeah, there we go. So yeah, if you have trouble cutting frozen pizza, and you need a little tip. If you have trouble cutting frozen pizza, and you I had a job in pizzeria before, and man, trust me, in those busy times, I was just standing there cutting pizzas. Seriously, some of those days that we had like a full staff, sometimes you had the guy standing there helping you cut pizzas because you're making so many freaking pizzas, these big orders. Just have a guy standing there cutting pizzas for you as you pull them out. It kind of helps. And yeah, so I got pretty good at it. With the pizzeria style, but then I had to relearn frozen pizzas because it was different. It was throwing me off. I kept trying to do it with frozen pizza, you know, where you do the thing where you just go straight across, boom, 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 boom. You know, I didn't even have to go halves. I was starting to learn how to do it diagonally. I was starting to get so good. But it's been good with frozen pizza, and the reason why is because most of the time, yeah, the crust at the end, it like sort of stops when it hits that because it's usually thicker, crispier. It's frozen pizza. The dough is just going to be a different consistency. So, you want to cut it in half. Cut the half in half. Don't then proceed to try to double cut it from the middle to the outside. Once you cut it in half, that's what I do, and you'll get a nice. That's what I'm saying is essentially I cut it in half one time, and then I start at the middle and cut the half from the middle out, and then the half, and then you'll get a nice even cut instead of trying to struggle with the outside where you're you know, trust me, it's just so much easier. I wish I would have known there wasn't. If I had known that, I would have just put some soda in the fridge. I just was dumb about it and didn't put any soda in the fridge. I think there's enough there now. Give me a sec. I want ice in there. very much, but it's and then that pizza will be nice and cooled off. And then that pizza will be nice and cooled off. Ay, ay, ay. That's better. Some ice is better than none. This one first. That's decent flavor, but something that most frozen pizza can't do. I will say that there is a brand that can do it, and it's probably one of my favorite brands. And that is not what this is. This is, I have to look at it. It's actually like something weird. Culinary Circle. That's what this is. And one thing that some pizzas can't do that others can, frozen pizza, is the ability to have cheese that's terrible. Like, when I bite into this, I don't want... See how this is kind of like all one sort of piece here? I don't want this entire thing coming off as I try to tear off a bite of pizza. Yet, just looking at this, you know it will. You know that cheese is like a glue. So, this is why some of those other pizza brands use like Parmigiano, Asiago, and stuff like that, where you can get more grated cheeses in there and break it up a bit, so that way it's not all the same type of serrated cheese, not serrated, sliced bit. It's actually done a different way, so that way it makes the pattern different as it melts, and it's not all one freaking... You know what I mean? Like, it breaks it up a little bit and helps with that. Also, just the type of cheeses, you know, like not that it's a bad cheese, it's a good cheese, it's real cheese, but again, I don't want to have to, you know, I don't want the whole thing coming off in one bite. I mean, it's on my face, you know, or worse, my lap, you know, fall in your shirt or something. Is that Elden Ring shit? Now that I think about it, that sounds like some fucking Elden Ring shit. Woo! It's like fucking Elden Ring shit. some fucking Star Wars shit. Some not Star Wars. You know, there's like so much Star Wars lore. There's so much, and I'm actually really excited that they're giving Cal Kestis a TV show because I love that character. Hey, 365. Devil's banned. Is he bad? He's not banned here. I just thought it was funny. I'm trying to think of what that Night Mother. That sounds like fucking. That sounds like Elden Ring. Isn't that like the main? Not necessarily the main protagonist. It sounds like some Elden Ring shit. That is such a cryptic storyline. Once I finish, I'm gonna have to actually read through it properly, but I want to finish it first. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't ban him. He's good. He's fine. Didn't say anything wrong. I just thought it was like Elden Ring lore or something like that. Pretty sure it is. Pretty sure. Pretty sure it's just having fun. What's up? Yeah, no, I've seen him before. What's up, Devil? I've seen him before. It's not bad. It's pretty good. Like I said, the only thing about this one, though, is that the cheese doesn't tear so easily. So when I try to get a bite, it doesn't. It sort of just comes off all at once. So that's the only thing. Yeah. So I had to see how it was tearing here. I actually tore that piece. I've struggled not to get all this torn off, basically, when I took a bite. How you doing, man? How's life? Hope you're doing well on this Star Wars day. I played a fun game last night. I also played, I played Soulstone Survivors last night. I meant the night before. I played a whole IO the night before. If you didn't catch that. It was a pretty interesting, weird game. Woo! That's what I've been up to. I'm trying to fix this stupid ice machine. It's been raining, guys, in case you didn't realize it. For some of you that are coming in late to the stream, we were outside and it was raining. And it's been that sort of way lately, that's why I haven't been riding. We're gonna ride again soon, but yeah, with the rain, I mean, I could. It's warm. I could technically. Well, yeah, we could ride in the rain. We could do that. I could. Did you see my e-bike that I got, 365? Oh, never mind. You're probably busy, like, driving or something. That's fine. Oh, wait, it's Sunday. I'm trying to think. Sunday. So, yeah, we're probably driving. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I got an e-bike, man. That's amazing. The client's here. That's okay. That's a good thing. I got an e-bike, man. Evidence? I got the evidence. What do you mean? I know, I know, dude. I have one for my handlebars, though. Did you catch those streams? I did a couple streams already. It worked out pretty well. I have one. I have one of my handlebars. But yeah, it's not too great, and it's not great for like taking it out regularly. So if I want to take it out, it's annoying. So yeah, I definitely do. But I used to have one of those little things laying around like you have, with like this little screw on the back. I don't know what happened to it though. It was like an attachment for something. I don't even remember what it was from. It was like a tripod or something, but I have no idea where it is. Oh, it looked like it was struggling. Well, I mean, it was on there pretty good, but it was it was more. It's more the issue that I'm having with the certain stalker that's been disrupting my service. Basically, like, I've already been back and forth to the AT&T store just all throughout the day. He's just completely disrupting the service, taking it down to nothing, just like he was doing for my streams. Now he's doing it with AT&T service. And they already replaced my SIM. They already swapped out my SIM. We got a new phone, as you know. And so, like, the fact that it's actually still happening is pretty nuts. So, yeah, like, it's actually, like, the recording and stuff, a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was sort of kind of, like, actively sitting there disrupting the service. And he's just doing it all throughout the day here, too. Like, when I was talking earlier about police and stuff, he was doing it down. So, you know, like, that's sort of what's going on. So yeah, like, I actually have pretty good signal and service and stuff. It's actually not bad around here. But, yeah, he's just disrupting it. Thanks, man. Yeah, you could see the handlebars. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it does suck that he was disrupting it that much, but it's just going to be further proof later on down the line once we, you know, continue to pursue this and stuff. We'll have enough evidence where he just did it too many times. It's already documented through my cell phone company too, and they're aware that it's still happening even now. So we're just like doing our part to try to document what he's doing. So yeah, that sucks, but on chest will be more stable, yeah. I just saw you said that. Yeah, on the chest it'll definitely be more stable for sure. It's you're right. It like definitely like if you're just more talking about stability of the you know, like how things look and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, for sure. I definitely wanted to get a higher up, more stable. Not necessarily on the handlebars all the time, because yeah, then it is sort of hard to see as much for sure. But at least like I tried to kind of go slow sometimes to deal with that, and at least like we had smooth roads for the most part. But yeah, for sure, definitely more stability on the chest, and I gotta figure that out. But yeah, the handlebars can be cool too. It's a cool perspective, you know what I mean? Maybe some people like that perspective, you never know. People seem to like it. Which I appreciate. I think it's about time. I think I have stuff to do. I think I have stuff to do. And I'm gonna slowly eat this pizza as I do the rest of the stuff I have to do. I have some stuff I have to do. And once I get that done, we'll see. But I definitely got some stuff to do. So thanks for watching, man. Thanks for watching 365 and everybody that was in here. May the 4th be with you. Oh. May the 4th be with you. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.